My parents banished my kids to the basement for my brother's baby. By Christmas, they were the ones begging at our door. I closed it without a word. By Christmas morning, my parents were standing on my porch, crying, begging. 3 months earlier, they had moved my 11-year-old twins into a damp basement just to make room for my brother's new baby. When I closed the door in their faces without saying a single word, that was the first time in years I finally felt like a mother. If you've ever watched someone play favorites and thought, one day that's going to cost you, this story is going to hit hard, go ahead and like the video, subscribe for more real-life revenge stories, and settle in, because this one builds slow and ends ice cold. My name is Eudora. 13 years of marriage ended in a single afternoon. 1 minute, I was a wife juggling night shifts as a pediatric nurse and packing school lunches. The next, I was sitting in a lawyer's office, staring at custody paperwork, while my 11-year-old twins, Oliver and Camellia, waited at home, pretending they weren't scared. Divorce doesn't just break your heart, it fractures your identity. I moved back in with my parents, Gloria and Carlos, because I didn't have a choice. Rent was rising, legal fees drained everything. I told myself it was temporary. At first, they acted supportive. "You'll always have a home here," my mom said, squeezing my hand. I believed her, but there was something I should have remembered. My younger brother Justin had always been the favorite. Growing up, if I got a 98 on a test, my dad would ask, "What happened to the other 2 points?" If Justin barely passed, "See, he just needed encouragement." So when Justin and his wife, Rachel, announced they were expecting a baby boy, I saw the shift before anyone said it out loud. The golden child was about to have a golden child. And my twins? They were background noise. Noah was born in the spring. The house transformed overnight. Photos of Oliver's science fair ribbons quietly disappeared from the fridge, replaced with ultrasound pictures. Camelia's watercolor painting, she'd worked on it for weeks, was taken down to make room. The living room became Noah's play area. "Can you keep the kids quiet? The baby's sleeping," Rachel would sigh dramatically. My kids. In the house they'd grown up visiting every weekend, Oliver started doing homework in his room with the door shut. Camellia stopped practicing violin downstairs after my dad complained it might overstimulate the baby. One night, I found her sitting on the edge of her bed, violin still in its case. "Why didn't you practice?" I asked gently. She shrugged. "Grandma said it's not a good time for loud hobbies." Loud hobbies. She was 11. Then Justin dropped the next bomb. Their house was undergoing renovations. "Just for a few months," he said casually at dinner. "We'll move in here. It'll be like old times." Old times. I felt my chest tighten. My parents didn't even hesitate. "Of course, this is your home." Within a week, boxes flooded the hallway. Baby furniture stacked everywhere. Rachel claimed the downstairs office for remote work. And then one evening, my mom knocked on my bedroom door. "We need to rearrange things," she said carefully. I already knew. The nursery needs more space, and Rachel needs quiet for work. My stomach dropped, and she avoided my eyes. "We think it would be best if Oliver and Camellia move into the basement, just temporarily." The basement. It smelled like mildew. The small windows barely let in light. The carpet was thin and cold. "You're joking," I said. "It's just space logistics," my dad cut in. "You're being dramatic." Dramatic. They had just chosen convenience over my children's dignity. That night, I stood at the top of the basement stairs watching Justin measure walls for a crib upstairs, while my kids carried their own boxes down narrow steps. Oliver tried to act strong. Camelia's lower lip trembled, but she didn't cry. And that's what broke me. Not anger, not shouting, but the way my kids tried to make themselves smaller. The final straw came 2 weeks later. Camellia had won a regional art contest, first place. She ran upstairs clutching her ribbon. "Grandma, Grandpa, look." Rachel was feeding Noah in the living room. "Shh," she hissed. "You'll wake him." My mom barely glanced at the ribbon. "That's nice, sweetheart. That's nice." Justin walked in minutes later holding Noah, announcing the baby had slept 4 hours straight. My parents erupted into applause, actual applause. Camelia's hand slowly lowered. I felt something inside me go still, cold. That night, while the house slept, I opened my laptop. Because here's what no one knew. For months, I'd been saving every overtime shift, every holiday bonus, every penny. And 2 days earlier, I'd signed a lease. The next evening, I gathered Oliver and Camellia in the basement. "Pack your favorite things," I said softly. Oliver looked confused. "Are we going somewhere?" I smiled for the first time in weeks. "We're going home." We packed in silence, not rushed, not chaotic. Upstairs, Justin and Rachel argued about paint colors for Noah's nursery. No one noticed when we carried suitcases to my car. My mom stepped onto the porch just as I closed the trunk. "Where are you going?" I met her eyes. "You needed space," I said calmly. "Now you have it." She scoffed. "You're overreacting." But I saw it, the flicker of doubt, and I drove away. Our new house wasn't big, but it was ours. Sunlight poured through the living room windows. No one shushed violin practice. Oliver spread his science projects across the kitchen table without apology. We painted the walls together. We laughed again. At work, I was offered a promotion. Lead pediatric nurse. Better pay, better hours. My friends helped us settle in. My kids thrived. And slowly, word trickled back. Justin's renovations went over budget. Rachel quit her job unexpectedly. Living with my parents wasn't the dream they imagined. Tension grew. Without me contributing rent and groceries, my parents felt the financial strain. The golden child glow began to fade. It was Christmas Eve when I heard the knock, soft at first, then desperate. I opened the door to find my parents standing there, not polished, not proud, worn. "Eudora," my mom's voice cracked. "Can we come in?" Behind me, I heard Camellia laughing at something Oliver said. Warmth filled the house. I stepped outside instead, closing the door behind me. "What's wrong?" I asked evenly. My dad cleared his throat. We might lose the house. Justin can't help. Things got complicated." Complicated? They looked smaller than I remembered. "We were hoping," my mom swallowed, "maybe we could stay with you. Just for a little while." The irony was almost poetic. The basement flashed in my mind. Camellia, lowering her ribbon. Oliver pretending not to care. I studied their faces, waiting, expecting. For years, I had been the responsible one, the forgiving one, but motherhood changes you. "You made space for who mattered to you," I said quietly. Silence. I reached for the doorknob. Now I'm doing the same. And I closed the door. No yelling, no insults, just a boundary. Inside, my kids looked up. "Who was it?" Oliver asked. "Carolers," I said gently. And we went back to decorating cookies. On the other side of that door, I heard my mother start to cry. My father muttered something I couldn't make out. But for the first time in my life, their disappointment didn't crush me. It didn't define me. Because protecting my children felt stronger than pleasing my parents ever had. That house, it stayed warm, filled with music, laughter, respect. They had banished my children to the basement. By Christmas, they were the ones standing in the cold. And I didn't say a word. Sometimes revenge isn't loud. It isn't dramatic. Sometimes it's a closed door and a safe home behind it. Choosing your children over toxic loyalty isn't cruelty. It's growth. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button. And tell me in the comments, would you have let them in? Or would you have done the same? Subscribe for more real-life revenge stories that prove one thing: karma doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just knocks. And sometimes you don't answer.